Good morning, gang. September 10th, tradingology.com, trading room, ending the week. Today is Thursday already. We're moving fast. Get you guys in here. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Good to see you. We'll cover some of the basics to start off. Let you guys get in and get comfortable. Dave, we got you unmuted. Good to see you, man. He might be getting his coffee. You got to have your coffee, right? Coffee Thursdays. Coffee every day. All right, so we got the markets opening up here, looking at the internals. They're on the positive side, but they're trending down slightly. Low on the volume, so no major moves there. And we're trending down, seen on the market internals. So we see we're going to move up, and it's just kind of going, trading sideways, slightly down. Candle reversals. Taking a quick peek at the market timer spreadsheet after we dialed in yesterday's numbers. So we've had definitely higher volatility coming in. We see we are now above 100% on MT vol, so that is definitely a flag, warning sign, be careful. And we had some bearish herding starting out, but then yesterday it disappeared, and we had in the first column of the bullish herding reappeared. And AVS spent a couple days above 1500, but now it's back below 1323 yesterday. We do have the swing signal still pointed down, but the BOP curve looks like it may have done a quick peak and coming back, so we'll keep an eye on, we'll see what's going on there. That is the latest on the market timer spreadsheet, but we definitely see the increased volatility where we had a bunch of days trading less than 100 points on the Dow. We're now back above, 2, 3, 4, 8, 6, 4. So the volatility is absolutely back in the market. So that is a warning sign. That's why we see these big bar reversals. So big bar up, big bar down, big bar down, big bar back up. So be very careful as you're trading as a day trading strategy. And with that in mind, there is going to be some things I talked about. I'm getting some more recordings ready for more of that swing trading and a little bit longer time frames. So if you're getting whiplash during the high volatility and you're not using the MES strategy, this will be something you can look at for more of a hours to days swing trades. And the key is to trade at your risk. But definitely a nice move here, leveraging that strategy where we had a nice move up before the open. So good. 3,400, there's a good 20, 15 points in there this morning, even before the traditional market opened. Good morning, BD. Good to see you. And
morning,
another
guys.
topic. Oh, yeah, there's Dave. I was just going to say another topic I believe we're going to cover is some additional gamma scalping. And I want to announce, too, that for those guys that don't have it yet, we do have a gamma scalping that Dave recorded back in 2018, I think it was. That required a little bit larger account, but that is going to be available as a standalone product now. I've had quite a few people actually emailing about it, and they've asked if they can just purchase that. So we are going to make that available for $97 initially. So if you're interested in the gamma scalping strategy and the theory, and you don't have a full membership yet, you can get that as a one-off. It'll be released. The pages should be open sometime tonight, worst case tomorrow. So look for that, and it's going to be $97 initially. It'll probably go up to $197 because we're going to be adding information around trading that exact same strategy with micros on the diamonds and or the SPY. We'll see what Dave's brain is working on lately, but that is one of the new things that's coming is the update with micro E-mini options.
Absolutely.
I can't even let Dave get a word in edgewise this morning. Must be my good coffee.
I'm all ears. Everything you said was very interesting. Yes, we have a market. It's one thing about the market, it never bores you. There's always something happening.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, all depends on your P&L for the day.
Right. Depends on your perspective of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you went over all the numbers, looks good. Volatility, yes, definitely staying with us. One of the interesting things this morning was that the DXY took a pretty steep dive. right around 8 a.m. Not sure why, but it went down pretty significantly, pretty big bar down. And we had cryptocurrency starting to move up. We had, and that's about the same time that the market started moving higher. We were down about 163 points on the YM when I got up this morning, and it has certainly recovered. So, but if you went over the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet indicated that there was some bearish herding over the last few days, but it's pretty spotty, hadn't really filled in. MT vol is over 100%, so that's the volatility signal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see that in the market today, and but it's interesting though because you're talking about gamma scalping. I started a few days ago doing a little gamma scalping with an index that I typically don't do, which is gamma scalping on my lovely VXX.
Ooh, a combination of them.
Yes, yes. Oh, BD, ECB announced endless money printing. Well, I'm not sure why that would send the US dollar index lower. It should send it higher because if the ECB is printing dollars against the USD, then USD should go up, not down. And take a look at the 30-minute chart. You'll get a pretty good picture of what happened right around 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, big move down there. So unless now here's how a lot of times these things work is that the U.S. maybe is supplying those dollars, so they're selling the U.S. dollars to purchase the euros, and then the European Central Bank is stacking those U.S. dollars.
Right.
They're selling the U.S. dollars to them. So that's a possibility too, because that's what's happening with all the swap lines around the world. All the central banks are getting U.S. dollars. They're selling U.S. dollars in exchange for their other foreign currency, pushing the USD down.
Sure.
Possibility.
Which makes sense because I was looking this morning as well. It's like, yeah, crypto's starting to creep up. Gold and silver's up. Everything was kind of up. So it makes sense that the Dixie went down.
Yes. Yeah, and as you know, and one of the things that we have to do here is we have to schedule a wealth masterclass because we said we're going to do one in September. So we'll have to think about the date. We can throw a couple of dates around.
Okay.
But if you look at all of the commodity funds that we discussed there, they've all been kind of creeping up a little bit by little. So that's been really good too.
Yeah, there's been a few people inquiring, so it'll be good to do a little refresher for them, get them up to speed there.
Absolutely, give them an update, and we'll. I think that is going to be the play for the foreseeable future, and so we'll give everybody an update.
Yeah, I had a few people asking if I was taking that over. It's like, no, Dave still does the Wealth Masterclass. That's all. That's Dave's knowledge, so you guys don't have to worry about that's not ending. Just because we hosted it with Trading Knowledge, that's because we had so many people asking, can you put this in the same spot? I don't want to download things there and there, so we just consolidated the courses together. So Dave's still, it's all Dave's info.
And we had people, sending me emails about Tradingology courses, and you got emails about the strong market courses. It's like, wait a minute, let's consolidate this a little bit.
Yeah, so it's make life easy. So that's the quick and the dirty there. So Dave's not lost. Dave's still here. Just because we moved it, you're still good, and all the updates will be there too.
Absolutely. So yeah, whenever you have a chance, just look at your calendar and see what dates. I usually do them about 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, I'll look at next week and see which day works good.
Yeah, and I can even do it on a Friday if that works for you. If it doesn't, that's okay. We can do it during the week. All right, and whenever you want to hand over the thing here, I'll show you what I'm doing with the VXX on a gamma theta scalping deal.
The baton is yours.
There.
I went back to Canada, in case you guys are wondering.
That's a beautiful scene. right. So this is I've just been kind of testing it out. I kind of play with it a little bit. This is this is an interesting strategy because if you guys who did take the gamma scalping, the theta scalping, you know that I use the SPY VIX, all of the, let's see, where is it? All of these indicators. So I looked at the internals and I looked at the, advanced declines and the up and down volume and SPY VIX here just to kind of get a sense of what the market was going to do during the day. And then really I went into and just sold some options and I sold them naked. Now I wasn't in them a long time, but at the same, like sometime between 9:45 Eastern time and maybe 11 a.m. And then I was typically out for the day. So I took a good hour out of that day and I used the weekly options. So the ones that are expiring on a Friday in order to do that because the theta decay is so strong, and especially in the last, on these weeklies. And so I said, you know what? One of the strategies that used to work, I used to trade the stock as well as the options when I was doing gamma scalping at the very beginning. And I hadn't really done that, but I said, well, let me try it on the VXX. And so currently I have 10 lot positions on the VXX I sold a couple of days ago when the VXX was at 29. So I sold the 29 call, I sold the 29 put, so that's right at the money. And as you guys know, I'm sure that you know, that the at the money options have the highest amount of extrinsic value, the time premium that's built into those calls. And so let's go over and take a look at these. So I'm in the weekly option. So I got into Tuesday, I think, when we opened up for trading again after the holiday. And you can see I'm in the money on the put side and the VXX has declined. So I'm out of the money on the call side. And right now, that decay has earned me about $1,400 on the call side, but I'm down $1,123 on the put side because it's in the money. But I also sold short. I currently have a short 484 shares of the VXX that has boosted my profitability up to 302 on that. So, and the theta is a very healthy 440.
Wow.
Which is nice. And my delta is just about neutral. And so what you try to do is you try to have a delta neutral position. You don't want to be long or short. What you're trying to do is take in as much theta as you possibly can. Now, today's Thursday. I'm anticipating that theta is going to get crushed either tonight or early tomorrow morning. And when that happens, then I'm going to be out of the position. But it's very interesting. Now you don't have to have, because you're not selling the options naked without a stock position. You don't need a huge account, but this does still, I did 10 contracts and it requires about, when I opened it was about $12,000. Because I added the stock, it's gone up to $17,000. So still does need, a little bit of an account. Now, maybe, I haven't done it on Tastyworks yet, but so maybe Tastyworks does have better margining, as we know. It does, rather than TOS. But it's a nice trade. And here's how I determine whether or not I should purchase or sell the VXX. So for example, I currently have a $258 profit on the VXX, but I'm going to hold on to that because it's declined and I'm delta neutral. The beauty of this is that it fits very, very well with our VXX trade because we're only using the, because we know that there is a negative bias to the VXX, right?
Right.
So if you're in the market, and let's say you're at the beginning of the week on a Monday, typically, and you see that the premiums on the weekly options are around $3, which they were here, around $3 or so, and you sell those, that's in 10 contracts, it's $3,000. And then when to be delta neutral, all you have to do is, typically, this is what I'm thinking right now. I'm still testing this out. But in almost every single case, I'm going to be selling the VXX to be delta neutral because of that negative bias.
Yep.
Which is where you want to be, because you want that call premium to be taken out, and that's exactly what happened this week. So on a little 10 lot, up $664. What's working for me in my favor is that $489 data. It's being, taken out of the market, out of the premium, and putting that into my bank account.
Nice.
So it's a nice strategy. I think that it's something that I'm going to be paying attention to. I really, really like it. I'm going to test it out probably for a few more weeks because it's been a while since I've done any gamma scalping. I've really focused just on the VXX Pro strategy with the ladders. But this is, I think it's a nice little extra income source. And I just do the weekly, so I don't do any other. I'm not doing the anything farther out than the weekly. So it's Monday through Friday trade, and I try to stay delta neutral.
Nice. So Dave and I we'll do something together to refresh, and we'll bring some more stuff into what's already in the gamma scalping. So if you guys haven't looked at it recently, definitely go in there and check out the Gamma Scalping Masterclass. You'll get the basics of what Dave put together, and then we'll add on to it. And the other thing that we're going to do is one thing that even I personally didn't do a lot of Gamma Scalping because it took a little bit, the larger accounts, right? We're talking, 7,500K to hold some of that buying power the way it was originally done a couple of years ago. Now with options and micros, E-mini micros and options, we're going to look and see what's available on Tasty or what's available, or check your broker to see if they're now offering it, because they're fairly new from the CME still. So some brokers may or may not be offering it yet, but that'll allow people with, less than 100K and comfort to trade these deals. So we'll look at that possibility. So in addition to the VXX, it might be available for the diamonds and the SPY or whatnot. So just variables that we'll look at.
Well, the one thing that attracted me to the VXX is because of the options that are there. So, for example, in the VXX Pro system, those are American-style options, which means that they can be exercised at any time. So, if our short position goes into the money, it can be exercised, which is one of the risks of that trade. However, typically, you're not going to get an exercise on an option that you sold in the VXX, because on a normal stock, here's quiz time, guys. Anybody quiz? Why are options exercised typically in, let's say, a stock like GM or
Tesla, anything? Yeah, American Airlines, Apple. Apple's a good one. Everybody likes Apple.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But yeah, we could say Apple.
BD might know the answer. BD probably knows the answer.
Does BD know the answer? Why would you exercise your options on a stock? So if you got a call option, why would you exercise it?
Well, I'll answer for him, because you want to own the stock at that price.
But why would you want to own the stock at that price?
Because you think it's a fair value.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is his answer correct or incorrect?
Go on, I'm trying to fish for you guys.
Nobody wants to answer. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to call you incorrect. I mean, yeah, you're right. You know that people want to own the stock at that price when they exercise their call. But typically the reason is that a dividend is they want to have the stock before the ex-dividend date, and so they want the dividend. And so they're going to exercise it. Well, there are no dividends on the VXX because it's all driven by the first 2-month VIX futures contract. So there is no reason to exercise those VXX options. I mean, you might have like some people do it. I doubt that they would do it. Typically, it's going to be on a stock that has a dividend, and you want to have that call option exercised so you get that dividend, especially if you have a little profit in it.
And I see why you hedged on my Apple, because there's no dividend on Apple.
Oh, there is. Actually, that's why
I start paying dividends.
I hesitated to look it up, but they do have. I just looked it up. They have a 0.7% yield according to this. I don't know when they started paying a dividend.
That's news.
20 cents every quarter.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now Apple does have that. And you know, we had a I don't want to go into details, but we had somebody send us an email yesterday about a stock that they held that got exercised, but that was on the short side. It was so weird. It was very, very weird because they have no dividend on that stock.
Right.
And the only reason to exercise a put on that stock is if you think if it's gonna go down.
Insider trading.
You know, who knows? It could have been something like that. But just a warning for all you guys, anybody who's using Robinhood, their executions are not good. They're under investigation from the SEC, FINRA, Consumer Protection Bureau. Just be careful if you're using Robinhood to trade options. They do not have good executions. And I'm really, it's very, very concerning.
Yeah, between that and the stuff we saw earlier in the year with that young kid,
Yeah.
and just all the bad stuff they're doing, stay away.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, any final questions? Last minute. As far as we know, I mean, right now, the spreadsheet looks like, you know, we're not getting a lot of bearish hurting. After all of the markets going down here, we were down, 1,500 points in 3 days.
Yep.
We got barely any bearish hurting at all. It did send MT volatility over 100%, but the bearish hurting is what I'm looking at. If that doesn't fill out, and we got bullish hurting yesterday, maybe it's over and we're moving higher. The XX is going to go lower. Our trades are still in good shape.
Absolutely. So that'll just about wrap it up for the week. As you guys all know, hit us up at support@tradingology if you got any questions. And if you don't have the Gamma Scalping and you only want that, look for it. It will be available shortly for $97 initially. Price going up to $197 not too long after, as we add more things to it and grow that value. So appreciate you guys as always coming out for another good week. And we'll catch you on next Monday. No more holidays next week. So, and it's back to school around here.
Yes, we'll be back. Yes, it's school. Yes, and yeah, Monday we're back in. I like the fall for the markets because hey, you know, things really do pick up. And we've had an exciting summer actually, but I think things are going to be interesting going into the election period.
Definitely.
All right, guys.
Take it easy, Dave.